Hello everyone, I'm Steve from Valhartv, and today I'll be reviewing House of the Dragons Episode 2. So this episode gives us our first time jump. So it's been 6 months since the events of Episode 1. And we see that the king, Viserys, has been grieving for his wife, so he's been putting off certain obligations. And this we have to remember as we go along, because it plays out at the end in a way that is really quite interesting, I think. So, Otto Hightower in episode 1 sent his daughter to comfort the king, to hang out with the king, because he lost his wife as well, and he knows about, all that grief, and so doesn't Alicent as well. And we really see that she's doing this out of just trying to be kind to him. So we have to remember that that she pretty much isn't really interested in anything other than just being friendly and trying to comfort the king, even though she's smart enough that she knows what her father's trying to do. And that plays out, again, towards the end of this, because we see that Otto Hightower doesn't send his daughter there really just to comfort the king. He's trying to further his own gain, his own needs and gain, which, that's what you do when you are playing politics. And this whole episode is really about the politics and the fallout of those politics. We see Matt Smith, again, every time he's on screen, he makes everything more interesting. Again, his lines, his dialogue are on point. Like, honestly, I think he's the best character out of everybody here. It's crazy, like, how they wrote his lines to be better than almost everybody else's, but everybody in this show has been extremely good. Like, we have the great sea serpent, Lord Corlys, yeah, who's trying to put his line into succession as well. He's trying to get ahead as well, is basically what it boils down to. So he proposes his 12-year-old daughter get married to the king, and they straight out say it. And of course that makes the king uncomfortable because she's extremely young, which should make anybody uncomfortable. I mean, I get, back in the day, back in those medieval times, sure, but, this was a good setup, because even the king is like, yes, this is a good idea. Everybody's telling him. Otto Hightower's telling him. The Maester is telling him that this would be a good match, and it would be a good alliance. It would put everything, in the realm, like as they say it, right. It would show that the times ahead are going to be the best times, not the worst times, and it would unite the whole kingdom under one banner finally. And I was like, but that should have been already done, right? Because he's the king, and everybody pledged loyalty to him at the Great Council. So it's like, why is all this going on? But in the meantime, they bring in what they call the Crab King now. He's the leader of the pirates that are in the free cities, basically, there, where they're just going along, raiding ships and killing the men on there, which I thought was very interesting. And as we go along, we see that Princess Rhaenyra, she has not changed her role. Like, her role's not changed since she was named the heir to the throne. She's still the cupbearer. She still gets the men their glasses of wine at the council. And we see that's very frustrating for her. She's trying to learn, and when they start talking about this Crab King, she suggests, the Dragon Riders go and take care of it. And Otto Hightower immediately is like, nah, let's go send her away because she could be better put, her talents can be put to better use. So she kind of dismisses her because she is trying, kind of undermining the king a little bit. Like, I think there's a duality here. I think that the showrunners are trying to show sexism towards the females because it's the patriarchy. But at the same time, the king has already said, what his plan is and what he's trying to do. And she turns around and is like, well, why don't we do this instead? Which may or may not be a good idea, but it still is after the fact that the king has already heard a couple of people talk about what they want done and then what he's going to do. And then she says it after the fact. So I think like this whole thing is a duality here. Yes, we're seeing that women are obviously not treated as good, but at the same time, he does respect his daughter, and he sees the potential in her. They even have a conversation a little bit of where they finally open up to each other as kind of equals, and they tell each other how they feel, and it's really kind of cool because she's young. Like, he actually says to her in one scene where they're eating together, she's like, the council, he's like, pay it no mind. They're just a bunch of, men. And she goes to say something. He's like, you're young. You'll learn about the politics because that's what you really have to do. And she's trying to do all that, which is great. But at the same time, we have her cousin, the queen who wasn't, I'm sorry, I can't think of her name, Rhaenys, I believe is how you pronounce it. She literally tells Rhaenyra that the men would rather put the kingdom to the torch than see a woman sit the Iron Throne. And that is the most truest statement anybody's ever said to this girl, because she is not, like, her status has not changed since she was named heir. It was really just to kind of spite Daemon and stuff. So what does Daemon do, of course? He goes and spites his brother, steals a dragon egg, sits there and says that his concubine basically is with child and they're going to get married and all these, and, in the tradition of their house and everything. And that doesn't go over well with everybody. They actually have to go and try to get the egg back, and it might be by force. And I'm like, dude, you only take like 20, 30 people with you? Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out for you when you got about 1,000 people in the keep that are loyal to Daemon. And that's where Rhaenyra comes in and saves the day. And she shows she's a capable leader. And she shows that she's smarter than these men give her credit for. And she knows. I think deep down she knows that her uncle, like, really loves her. And he's not going to harm her. He's not going to try to kill her and stuff. Like, she's like, I'm in your way. So if you want the throne, you gotta delete me. And he doesn't. Of course he's not going to. He kind of has a heart. But the whole thing is just accumulating until the very end where the king announces who he's going to get married to. So Corlys is under the impression that he's going to marry his daughter, but he throws a curveball. And the only one who really sees it coming is Otto Hightower. And it's very interesting on the choice, because even Rhaenyra is like, wait, what? Why didn't I know about this when I said it was okay? So we get all this stuff, and that's where you're going to see everything, I think, spiral out of control. From this one act that the king proclaims who he's getting married to, we end up seeing Corlys go to Daemon. And he's like, dude, listen, he's like, we're the second sons that have been passed up multiple times. We need to take our place. We can't just sit here and wait for people to give us stuff. We have to take it. We have to build our houses with our own backs. So I honestly can't really wait to see where this is going to go. There were, again, some scenes that were a little drawn out. They didn't need to be, like in the Septum, at the High Council, or at the small council and everything. But overall, this was the second episode that's literally giving us more plot and context to the whole greater story. So again, I'm looking forward to episode 3. This was good. The sets were good. The acting had no issues with. Everything looked good. Again, Matt Smith, probably the best thing of this show right now. Hopefully we get some more standouts for people in the coming episodes. So and I would also give this a 7.5, 8 out of 10 easily. It was a good episode. Take care for now, everyone.